Welcome back. I'm Chef Bob Sargent with Savory Cuisines here in Boulder, Colorado. Today we're going to make two of my favorite dishes. A staple of my diet is fried rice, shrimp fried rice to be specific, and usually I make that with leftover Chinese food. If I have a little leftover shrimp stir fry and a little cold rice, which you must use cold rice, very easy, simple, fast dish. You can eat it for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Then we're going to go into a simple chicken stir fry, and today we're going to make it with just some vegetables I had laying around. I only had a couple carrots, I had a little bit of celery, I had one jalapeno, one piece of broccoli, and some mushrooms. I thought that you could learn this really simply and you could put together anything in your house you wanted. If you had a can of baby corn, which I wish I had, or if you had some green beans, different kinds of mushrooms, even a cauliflower if you will, it's all about the preparation and the sauce. So let's jump into it and get started. All right, let's get these pans heated. This is going to be real fast. It's stir fry, that's the point of it. As I said in the Thai episode, a lot of people just overthink cutting their vegetables. I just cut them right down in between. I just cut off the florets that came by. I chopped the mushrooms real fast. So that's going to be for the stir fry. But let's get in to the fried rice, which is my favorite. Here we have some peas, some onions. Underneath, I cut the carrots about the same size. I like them to be the same size as the peas. You'll see why in the end. It makes for a really nice dish, a really nice presentation. And in all Asian cooking, for the most part, Americanized Chinese, Thai, sugar is what you're going to need. These eggs are really integral to the dish. They're special little guys. They're going to be friends of ours today. As I said, I like to do this with leftovers. So we're going to do this in leftover fashion. So this pan is nice and hot. This pan is a little thinner, so it got hot faster. We'll turn that down. As I said before, you could take a little water and splash it on there, and you'll know if it's ready to go when it sizzles. I like this burner better. It's a little hotter, and we'll switch back and forth. All right, let's check one more time. There we go. All right, a little oil, some onions and carrots. Stir that around, get them coated. A little bit of garlic, we'll save some for our stir fry. And then we're gonna get right in there with our shrimp. Touch more oil. Let's get our shrimp on in there. Now again, as I said, I want to model this after leftover Chinese food to be well seasoned. We're going to add a little salt, a little pepper, a touch more sesame oil, should be good to go. This is going to cook really rapidly. These are Gulf shrimp. Again, I've used shrimp with tails before. They look really pretty, but it makes it a bit hard to eat. So we're just got these Gulf shrimp get going. Over here, this pan is plenty hot. I saw a shrimp get away. We're going to put him back with his friends. I always keep a bleach rag handy. You can really quickly sanitize the tips of your fingers, wipe things down, and as I keep saying, you see me keep cleaning as I go. Bleach has a light degreasing capability. There's our shrimp friends. That fast. Here we go for our fried rice. Something important someone told me once. We're going to put this oil down. You can see how hot it is by how the oil moved. Get the egg. What the egg does here is, by doing the egg first in the oil, it's going to help to keep the rice from sticking to the pan. And I use this metal spatula to scrape it off the bottom. And once we get this egg up, you can see it's not sticking to the bottom. Well, might as well use the same tool now. Our shrimp are ready. Slide that over. It's a lot of shrimp, but we got a lot of rice. So now the egg isn't sticking. We'll put a little oil down for the rice, a little blend of olive oil and sesame, and we'll put our rice in. You see how the rice just falls apart individually? That's because it's a day old, it's cold. All the starch to return to the grains. There's nothing wrong with the rice. It's really dry if you eat it, but to taste it after it's fried, it stays apart. And as I said, the egg is going to make it possible. If you look here really close, the rice isn't sticking at all. That's because we put the egg down first. Look at that. We made a metal pan non-stick. Our shrimp friends are going. We're going to fry our rice. You can see the color of the rice changing. We're going to let it sit for a minute. Make sure the shrimp are all cooked through. They also will scrape right off. If you have a nice, well-seasoned iron skillet, this is the joy of cooking, as they say. As I said, you can see the rice isn't sticking at all. All right, so now the rice is just frying. It's going to give it another element of flavor, texture, and we're going to just go ahead and now add our shrimp and veggies. You could cook the veggies and shrimp ahead of time, a day early even if you will. Leftovers, you could use the shredded chicken from a chicken we had roasted previously, or a rotisserie chicken instead. You can have it all ready to go. This is a super fast dish. You can hear the rice. If we pick it up and flip it, you could see some of the caramelization happening on the rice, a little bit of color. As I said, all right, and this dish is almost done. To this, it's fried rice. So there is a bit of oil in it. We're gonna add a touch of sugar, not too much. We'll throw in some peas for color. And then we have to move fast. The soy sauce is gonna wanna stick a little bit. And it's also gonna just season the rice it touches, so you wanna move it around really quickly. You be careful of your soy sauce. This is a really dark soy sauce, so it adds a lot of color pretty quick. We still have some rice to mix through. Might as well just throw in the rest of the peas. Give it about 2 minutes. You'll hear it come back to a nice sizzle, and then our rice will be done. All right, so now our rice has been on for 2 minutes, and you can see it just isn't sticking still. And it's completely done. You can really see the color on there, and that's fried rice. So we're gonna move it around a little bit. We're gonna remove it from the heat. I'm gonna get a little bowl to serve it in. You can see it's completely free of anything stuck to it, and that's the protein of the egg coating a surface on the pan. There's little tiny bits, maybe that's from the sugar probably, but even normally if you put sugar in a hot pan, you're gonna burn it instantly. Now here's another one of the beauties of this little stir fry here. We're gonna put it back on the heat. We're gonna rinse off our spatula, set that aside, grab our towel. In one swipe, we made the pan completely clean. Now, we're just gonna roll into our stir fry. Same thing that we did before with the shrimp. We'll find a little vessel to get our chicken going. We'll add a little oil. We'll put a little sesame oil, on our chicken. Get it all mixed around. By getting the chicken with oil before it's cooked, it'll help it not stick. We're ready to go. It's already hot. We're gonna spread the chicken out. We'll lightly season it. A little pepper. Because we had a hot pan and cold oil, our food isn't gonna stick. Much like the shrimp, we're not gonna kill the chicken right now and cook it all the way. We just want some caramelization on it. We want all the pink spots gone. A little bit of color is great. You'll see it when you get it at the restaurant. Just a little bit of color. Our chicken is still moist and tender at this point. It's gonna sear through. Like I said, if you just let it sit and not move it around, you can get a little caramelization on it, a little texture even. Really, it'll make it enjoyable. If you overcook it, it'll start to lose its juice on the plate. We're gonna just move the plate over. We're gonna call this chicken good. Said this is all really fast. It's more exciting than it looks. It's a little bit of a rush of adrenaline because you don't want to burn anything. You're getting splashed with oil. Here we go. You can see that little brownness on the chicken. Already, our pan is still hot. We're cooking with gas over here. Little oil. These veggies will take a little longer to cook than those veggies. Get this in there. And while this is happening, this is gonna go really fast, so we gotta move fast. I'm gonna give you a little stir fry recipe. It's 6 tablespoons of sugar, 6 tablespoons of stock. This stock is lightly salted. 1, 2, this is a little extra because the spoon isn't quite filling up all the way. But trust me, it's 6. We're gonna need 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, 3 tablespoons of soy, 1, 2, 3, and then any kind of seasoning you want. I like black bean garlic sauce. We're gonna use 3 of that as well. 1, 2.5, 3, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. That's about 1.5. You don't want to get too much. You don't want to make it too thick. We can always add more later. All right, everything is going now. All right. Again, we're cooking fast. We're gonna get our other veggies in there. Let's get our jalapenos first. And then our broccoli and mushrooms. A little bit of sesame oil. We need a little more oil to cook these veggies. As they start to release some of their moisture, this should cool the pan down. You can see the pan. Let me show you. Now the pan is starting to stick just because it's so hot. Don't be afraid to move it off the heat just for a second. You don't have to stay on there and burn it. Everything's cooking just fine. They're almost done, really. We're gonna get a little color on the broccoli, soften them just slightly, get those florets with some oil on them. Get the mushrooms going. Now we're gonna mix this all together. You'll see, and we probably won't need all this, maybe we will. As I said, this is gonna go so fast that I just wanna be ready. Let's get our garlic in there. Back to the heat. You can see how much it cooled down in just 30 seconds off the fire. It's a little smoky in here. All right. Your chicken is so close to being done that we can add it at the very last minute. It is important to make sure, especially that the cornstarch is completely incorporated in this, because we don't want any lumps. So while you hear that coming back up to a nice sizzle, you can cook with your ears, you can cook with your eyes, you can cook with your nose. You can put your finger in there and burn it and know that it's too hot, and just be ready. After you add this in, there's not much time. That's why I give you a nice recipe, a simple thing. 6 stock, what was it? 6 stock, 6 sugar, 3 of any kind of seasoning. You could use sriracha, which a lot of people use. Gochujang, which is a Korean hot bean paste, hot chili bean paste, similar to a miso, like a chili miso. Oyster sauce, unagi sauce, really anything you want. All right, sounds like we're ready. Yep, everything has that nice stir-fry look, but it's not overcooked. We're gonna add our chicken in there real quick. Now you know you're ready. And last but not least, we're just gonna add our sauce. We'll add about 2/3 of it, it looks like. Everything's gonna drop some moisture when the sauce comes in. So right now, if you look at it, you think, oh boy, it's too thick. There's not any sauce in there. You can always just add a little stock. But I promise you, everything's gonna drop some liquid when the salt comes in. So you can add the tiniest bit of stock if you're nervous. Obviously I was nervous. And then we're gonna put the rest in. You could see it's all nicely coated. One of the things is it looks awful thick right now. But you know when you get the Chinese to go and you get it home and it's kind of watery? It's because all these vegetables are about to drop some liquid. The chicken's about to drop some liquid, and as this cools, I might just add a tiny bit of stock to it. Maybe we're up to 10 tablespoons of liquid, and I think I might have just added too much cornstarch. We're done. Let's get this in the bowl so you can see it. And as I said, you can play with it and adjust it. I've done this recipe with less sauce and a little extra sesame oil and chili oil for a Mongolian beef. So it's just glazed. And then, as I was saying, you can see it already loosening up. If you can look in the bottom of this one, didn't make a liar of me. It's loosening up as we speak, making a nice glaze. I'm gonna give you plating 101. You take a cup, measuring cup, a 1-cupper. This is basic entry-level culinary school plating. That's kind of funny. You'll see young cooks, they'll give this to you. You go into a restaurant with a very new chef, young chef, sous chef, maybe making the special for the night, and you'll see this quite a bit. We're just gonna take our rice, and we're gonna pack it firmly into 1 cup. And then we're just gonna turn it out on our plate. Ta-da! And then, move this out of the way. Luckily our stir fry didn't make a liar out of me. As I said, it will slowly get juicier and juicier as it sits, as the vegetables lose some moisture, the chicken drops some moisture into the sauce. I still think that maybe I didn't quite have 2 level scoops of cornstarch, because I've tried this a number of times and it really works. And then your last bits are just placement. There's a piece of chicken. There's a little jalapeno, a little carrot for color on the side, and voila. A little simple stir-fry fried rice dish. If you use a light soy, your rice will come out a lighter color. You can use different sauces. You can use a sesame, a sugary white chicken stock, eliminate all the soy. You could make more of a chow mein or a chicken and snow pea broth. All the ratios are still the same. If you keep the liquids the same in relationship to the cornstarch and the sugar, you pretty much can't lose. Well, thanks for joining us. Enjoy, and hopefully you'll join us again next time when we do some grilling and some barbecue.